You wake up tired, you work all day, you stare at screens, you skip meals, and you keep telling yourself, I'll rest later. But what if I told you that every time you overwork, your brain is quietly breaking down? It's not just tired, it's being rewired, inflamed, and aged faster than you think. In this video, we are going to peel back the curtain and reveal what really happens to your brain when you overwork, the critical warning signs you should never ignore, and exactly how to protect your most powerful organ before it burns out for good. So, let's dive into what happens to the brain under stress. When you work too much or sleep too little, your brain doesn't just get tired, it enters a state we call chronic stress mode. This triggers your body to release a hormone called cortisol. Now, in short bursts, cortisol is fantastic. It is what gives you that rush of focus and energy when you're up against a tight deadline. It's your body's natural performance enhancer. But the problem starts when this state isn't temporary. When cortisol levels stay high for weeks or even months, it starts to act like a slow-acting poison in your brain. It begins to damage the very neurons that help you think, particularly in a region called the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the powerhouse of your brain, responsible for memory and learning. So, the more you push yourself without adequate rest, the more you're actively sabotaging your ability to think clearly, to remember important information, and to come up with creative solutions. Your brain, in its infinite wisdom, starts to shift its priorities. It moves from a state of intelligence and growth to a state of pure survival. It's no longer focused on helping you thrive. It's just trying to get through the day. And that's a trade-off you can't afford to make long-term. Now, let's talk about the energy crisis happening inside your head. Your brain is incredibly greedy. It uses about 20% of your body's total energy, which is more than any other single organ. It's constantly humming, processing information, and keeping you alive. But what happens when you cut off its fuel supply? When you overwork, skip meals, or try to run on caffeine and sugar, your brain starts running low on its primary fuels, glucose and oxygen. This energy shortage has immediate consequences. It causes your neurons to fire more slowly. The communication between different parts of your brain weakens, and you start to feel that all too familiar brain fog, that frustrating state where you can't quite focus, you struggle to recall names, and you find yourself making silly, avoidable mistakes. You might read the same email 3 times and still not process what it says. You might forget why you walked into a room. At first, you might brush it off as just being tired. But here's the scary part. Over time, this state of mental fatigue can become your new normal, and that is incredibly dangerous. Because a chronically tired brain doesn't just make you forgetful, it also makes you emotionally unstable, quick to anger, and easily irritable. The part of your brain that regulates emotions, the prefrontal cortex, is one of the first areas to suffer when energy is low. So, if you find yourself snapping at loved ones or feeling overwhelmed by minor setbacks, it's not a character flaw. It's a sign that your brain is running on empty. Beyond the immediate fog and mood swings, there's a more sinister process at play: inflammation and accelerated brain aging. Overworking isn't just a mental strain, it's a physical one that increases inflammation throughout your entire body, and your brain is no exception. This inflammation is like a slow-burning fire that damages the protective coating around your neurons, a substance called myelin. Myelin acts like the insulation on an electrical wire, allowing signals to travel quickly and efficiently through your brain. When it gets damaged, your thinking process literally slows down. Messages get delayed or lost. Even worse, the long-term data is incredibly clear. Numerous studies have shown that people who consistently work over 55 hours a week have a significantly higher risk of stroke, depression, and early cognitive decline. Think about that. The very work you are redoing to build a better future could be robbing you of the healthy brain you need to enjoy it. So, let's be direct. Overworking doesn't just make you tired. It is quietly and systematically aging your brain, making it older than its chronological age. So, how do you know if you're just tired or if your brain is truly overloaded? Your brain sends out clear distress signals. If you notice these 3 warning signs, it's begging you to slow down. The first sign is persistent mental fog. This isn't just about feeling a little off in the morning. It's when you consistently can't think clearly, struggle to make decisions, or forget simple details that you normally wouldn't. It's a feeling of walking through a thick haze where focus is impossible to grasp. The second sign is emotional volatility. Do you feel constantly on edge, anxious, or snappy? Do small problems feel like massive catastrophes? Are you easily overwhelmed by your to-do list? When your brain is overloaded, its ability to regulate emotions is severely compromised. If you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster you can't get off, your brain is sending an SOS. And the third sign is chronic fatigue. This is the kind of exhaustion that sleep doesn't fix. You might get 8 hours, but you wake up feeling just as drained as when you went to bed. It's a deep, bone-weary tiredness that follows you throughout the day. Ignoring these signs is like ignoring the flashing oil light in your car. You can pretend it's not there for a while, but eventually the engine will burn out. And your brain is far more complex and precious than any engine. Now for the most important part, the good news. Your brain can heal. It is a remarkably resilient and adaptable organ, but only if you give it what it needs to recover. Let's talk about how to heal and protect your brain. First and foremost is sleep. Sleep is not a luxury. It is your brain's essential cleaning cycle. During deep sleep, your brain activates a system that flushes out metabolic waste and toxins that build up during the day. This is non-negotiable for brain health. Aim for a consistent 7 to 8 hours of quality rest each night. Treat it with the same importance as any work deadline. Second, you need to eat brain food. Your brain is built from the food you eat. To repair cell membranes and fight that damaging inflammation, you need to include omega-3 fatty acids, found in foods like salmon and walnuts. Leafy greens like spinach and kale, along with berries, are packed with antioxidants that protect your brain cells from damage. You literally are what you eat, and your brain feels it first. Third, move your body. Exercise isn't just for your muscles, it's one of the best things you can do for your brain. Physical activity boosts blood flow, delivering more oxygen and nutrients. It also stimulates the release of a molecule called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which helps new brain cells grow. That's right, you can literally build a better brain by moving your body. And finally, you must consciously rest your mind even when you're awake. This doesn't have to mean an hour-long meditation session. Try taking short, 5-minute breaks every hour to step away from screens. Practice mindfulness, or simply find a quiet place and do nothing. Even 10 minutes of silence can be enough to reset your focus and lower those cortisol levels. You only have one brain. It's working for you every single second of every single day, orchestrating everything from your heartbeat to your biggest dreams. But even the most brilliant, powerful machine in the universe will burn out without proper care and maintenance. So I'm giving you permission right now. Take a break. Step back. Breathe. Because sometimes the most productive and intelligent thing you can possibly do is rest. If this message spoke to you and you believe others need to hear it, please hit that like button, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe for more content on how to live a healthier, more balanced life. Let's take care of our minds together. Thank you for watching.